Today we explore Dong Ding and how the taste of this Taiwanese oolong has evolved over the course of the past years. This is nannuoshan. I'm Gabriele. The first time I had Dong Ding was many years ago. It was an evening in Berlin. My mouth was full of flavors, and on the way back home on my bike, I was still feeling the taste of the tea in my mouth. Very present, very strong, but also very fragrant. Since then, it's been more and more difficult to find a tea that approaches that taste. I even remember that the next day in the morning I woke up in my bed and I still had that incredible fragrance in my mouth. What we have here is 3 different Dong Ding that are representative of how the taste of this very tea from central Taiwan has evolved over the years. Let's have a look at them. I will brew, and while they are infusing, they are brewing, I will tell you a bit more about the story and what actually has caused this variation. On this side, we have a handmade Dong Ding. It's a tea that I sourced directly in Dong Ding mountain. Actually, it's more a hill in the Lugu town. And it is completely made by hand. It's extremely rare. I know only this farmer that produces it completely by hand, and might be the only one, since I know many other farmers that go to him to learn the roasting. They don't do though the shaping and the drying even in the wok like they do. They do it more automatically. Now, the farmer is Su Wenjiao, and I will put a link here if you want to have a look at that video where I sourced the tea. Here is a photo of the farmer and I. In the center, we have a competition grade Dong Ding. I will tell you a little bit more about that, but just take it for what I'm just saying. Competition level. It means there is a competition, and this is among the best tea of that specific competition. On my right hand side, I have a Dong Ding by Atong. For those that don't know Atong, he is I would say very famous to those that are in the business tea master in Taiwan. One of the best, if not the best, and most renowned for what he had done over the course of the past decades. Chen Huantan is his Chinese name. But in Europe he is well known with the name of Atong. I take this tea that I got directly from him in Taiwan because he's a reference. He is recognized as a farmer to whom many other farmers bring his own tea for evaluation. So if he has picked up this Dong Ding, probably not made by him because it doesn't tea anymore himself, but by other farmers, it means he's a very well representing the category Dong Ding. Water at 100 degrees centigrade. I put in each bowl 3 grams of leaves. Starting with this one here, you see that the leaves are loose. They also fill up the whole bottom of the pot, of the bowl, and are relatively loose. And you can still see some green color here and there. In the center, it takes much less space because they are very tightly rolled and they are pretty dark. And I would say that the last one is somewhat in between, certainly closer to the central one, but a little bit looser and also a tiny bit lighter in color. We have 3 grams in each, as said. Now we put about what is about 150 milliliters of water. This is a method that works very well with Taiwanese oolong. I suggest you also to you to taste tea this way, but doesn't have to work with any tea. It's kind of common in Taiwan. I've seen it not only there, but certainly it is the teas that it has the best result with. Now, before starting tasting them and discussing how the tea taste has evolved over time, we want to check what is the definition of Dong Ding. What I mean with definition. There is a government institution in Taiwan. It was once known with the name of TRES, Tea Research and Extension Station. And well, let's have a look. If we go on their website, they are actually called TBRS, but in the past they were known until a couple of years ago as TRES. On their website there is a definition of Dong Ding Oolong. It says it is a moderately fermented and moderately roasted tea. It says that it comes in tight bowl shapes and that it has the aroma of roasting fire. Concerning the origin, it says that originally was produced in Lugu. Nowadays, it's also spread in Jushan and Mingjian, which are two townships very close by, but also other tea growing regions in Taiwan. So this means that actually they don't have a indication of the geography of the location where the tea is, but this has been lost over the years. Originally it was in Lugo, but now actually you can produce a Dong Ding everywhere in Taiwan, and a government institution say you can call it Dong Ding, that's not a problem, as long as it is moderately fermented, moderately roasted, it is the balls are really tightly rolled, and it has this aroma of roasted fire. Now, officially, the only one that actually comes from Dong Ding is this one, and this is the only one that is not tightly rolled. So maybe we shouldn't consider this a characteristic Dong Ding. However, I would say this is a reference for how it has been done over the past many decades, because the farmer is in his early 80s, I would say, and has been doing this tea since he was a child, and his family before that. Yes, the roasting is there. I would consider is moderately roasted, that's for sure. Also, what I noticed, almost even before I noticed the roasting, is sweetness. It's actually a fairly sweet oolong. And the roasting is light. It's like you would roast hazelnuts in a pan, a little bit just on the stove to bring out those warm roasty aroma. The kind of sweetness goes in the direction of honey, not too much, maybe like a warm milk with a little bit of honey. And there is some spiciness to it. It's also quite remarkable is that although it's not on the forefront, besides the roastiness and the sweetness, there is also a certain level of florality actually. I cannot pinpoint what type of flower, but I would even tend to say it is more floral than fruity. Okay? Certainly most nutty, but then after the roasted nuttiness, floral. All right, let's now move on, and we try the competition level tea. Competition, there are a few competitions for Dong Ding in Taiwan. The most famous one is the one organized by the Lugu Farmer Association. Let me tell you a bit more about that. To participate, you have to be a member of the Lugu Farmer Association. To be a member of the Lugu Farmer Association, you have to produce tea either in the Lugu township or in the Jushan township that is next by. This one comes from Shanlinshi, a high mountain, that it is actually in Jushan. From the Lugu township, we are speaking at maybe 30 minutes drive, is not really far. Now, there are two competitions every year, one in spring, one in winter, for the spring harvest and for the winter harvest. There are about 4,000 participants to this competition, and each of them have to pay a fee to bring a tea. They also have to bring tea for each tea that they participate with. They have to bring, I think it is 20 gin, which is 600 gram one gin. So let's say about 12 kilo of tea. They have to present it there. And the tasting is then done blind. Now how it works, there will be one single winner. After the one single winner, there are 10 that are really second, third, fourth, and are single persons. So the first 10 are really like the top of the top. And then there are the those that win the first prize, that are 1 to 2% of overall participants. Second prize, about 5 to 10% of all participants. And then you have, I think, 15% for the third prize. Everyone else still become a prize. There is a single flower, I think, as two flowers given. It's like a little logo that they put on the pouch of one plum flower or two plum flowers. And then there is about 45% that doesn't get any recognition. So the vast majority get the recognition. This specific tea was last spring, was top 5 to 10% of they won the second prize, so 5 to 10% of all the 4,000 that participated. So we can consider these among the 5 to 10% best Dong Ding recognized by the Lugu Farmer Association. It means that the judge considered this tea as very, very good and very, very representative of what they consider being a good Dong Ding. Roastiness, strong, a tiny bit pungent, at least with respect to the previous one, definitely. Very present. It also reminds me in my mouth a little bit of charcoal note on the top of my mouth, on the palate. Yeah, the roastiness is very clear, very present, a little bit harsh. It goes in the direction of baked plums, even cherries, like a warm compote if you want. Less sweet than the previous one, but there is a certain level of sweetness here as well. I would say that typical aroma or fragrance that was described by the Tress as the aroma of roasted fire is definitely present here. You feel the fire. I wouldn't say there is any florality. Even if I try to search it, it's really not there. The roastiness is not. I mean, I had a lot of tea with a bad roastiness, and then you drink and you say it's like impossible, right? Here is not only the roastiness. There you have this fruitiness is present, a little bit of sweetness. Yeah, actually, if you drink this one after this one, this is almost tasteless. So this is so strong that even after you drank it, it's covering the taste of the first one. That does a lot, I think, about, first of all, the fact that I picked up the right direction here for tasting, but also it tells a lot about the difference in strength. So I would say if you search, if you like roasted tea, but you don't want them to be completely overwhelming and only roasted and not burn, then this is a tea that would suit you. If you prefer more of a gentle roasting with more floral nuances and more clear sweetness, but also less powerful, then this one is the best choice for you. I think they are both actually right now on the website still available. The This one has been there for a while, so it's the handmade Dong Ding, and this one was just recently disclosed or published on our website. In fact, I can actually even show you pictures of the two teas so that you can see really the difference in shape and in color. Now, well, let's move on to the last one, so the atom reference, and let's see how the other two are. Now, of course, I would expect that this one is somewhat in between, and certainly also you as well, given what I told you so far. But that's at least the appearance. What about the taste? It's mild. A little bit of flour, not the blooming flour, the flour you use for baking. Yeah, there is a little bit of that. Interestingly, although it is darker and also more rolled than the first one, almost in shape closer to the second, I would say in terms of taste, it's closer to the first one. There is no florality though. Let me see. Oh yes, it lacks of complexity. So it's like a little bit too neutral, too flat. It's like a tea where you drink it, say nothing is wrong. It's pretty good actually, but there is no clear fragrances inside that you can really tell. Okay, I couldn't even tell if it is more fruity or floral or nutty. It's somewhere in between. Yeah, I mean, to me, to my taste, this one is so much better actually than both of them. And between these two, I will not say what is bad, what is worse. They are so different teas. In a way, my tendency would be that if I want something strong, will go just for this one, and if I want something softer, I would go for this one because this lacks of some florality and some intensity of fragrance, not intensity of taste. I don't know how to describe that better, but not the intensity that you get from the roasting, the intensity that you get from tasting notes. Now, why I consider these an evolution? Why? Because originally these and these are representative of, I say the sentence again, what I meant is originally the tea, the Dong Ding, was tasting like this too. These are a nearly 70 years old farmer that is very traditional, that is against what the TRES is saying today, is against generalizing the production, associating a specific name with a specific type of production, forgetting the geographic indication. And here we have an even older farmer directly from the Dong Ding mountain that is producing this tea completely by hand, as his father was doing, and probably the father of his father, and has never changed that. This guy is not even participating to this type of competitions, are those participating to this type of competition that have learned originally from him, but then they have adapted their production, first of all to mass production, mass rolling, and generally mass production, and also to what today the TRES as well as the Lugu Farmer Association define as a good and authentic Dong Ding, where the roasting is present and it has to be the most relevant aspect that you feel in the mouth. Of course, to be a good Dong Ding, it doesn't have to be, as we say, barn. It doesn't have to be the only thing that is in your mouth. I hope these helped you a little bit understanding better what Dong Ding is. I plan to travel again this year in Taiwan. I don't think I will have the time to go to Dong Ding, also because honestly we have already quite a few good suppliers there and I will be there for just a short time. So I hope this will give you some insight for your next tasting. And if you have the opportunity, or you have two teas at home, a traditionally handmade Dong Ding and a competition grade Dong Ding, try yourself and let us know in the comments below which is the one you prefer. My personal taste goes definitely with this, but that's just my personal taste. What about you guys? Let us know, and I will see you at the next video. Bye bye.